So far you've learned about how to integrate quotes and paraphrases into your writing, and you've learned how to set up your page in MLA format. This brief video is going to discuss how do you set up your list of works cited. Remember, if you cite a source in your essay, whether it's a quote or a paraphrase, regardless of how you use it, you need to include a citation in your list of works cited. The works cited list should be alphabetized, and the way you refer to your source in your text should be what readers use to find the citation in your list of works cited. Here's an example. Let's say I want to cite Nancy Summers' Revision Strategies article in the body of an essay. And let's say I write a paraphrase that's like this. So, taking this original quote from Nancy Summers' article on page 379, I paraphrase it, put it in my own words like this. I'm still telling the readers where that information came from. So, according to Harvard University professor Nancy Summers, and then I go on with the paraphrase, and I close out with the page number here so that the reader knows where the paraphrase stops, but also they can know where they can go if they want to take a look at that quote themselves. I could have also written the paraphrase this way. According to a Harvard University professor, go on with the paraphrase, and then include Summers at the end. What would it look like in my list of works cited? What should the reader take a look for? If they saw this, what should they be looking for in the list of works cited? Well, if you said S for Summers, you're correct. But how do you go from Nancy Summers to all of this information here? Some of you probably use an online citation generator, and I'm absolutely fine with those. Although they need to be accurate. Sometimes they have bugs in them, and they're not always incredibly accurate. So you need to check things out. The place where I go to check these out, and for our class, if there's a discrepancy or there's some kind of debate about how you cite something, for me, the Purdue Owl is going to be the thing that settles these debates. So let's go to the Purdue Owl. So here we are at the Purdue Owl website, the online writing lab at Purdue University out there in Lafayette, Indiana. If you take a look on the left-hand side, you're going to see the suggested resources. They have an MLA guide, an APA guide, a Chicago guide. Click on MLA guide. It gives you information about style, overview and workshop, formatting and style guide, and that's where you want to click. Now, when you have a source, again, you probably use an online citation generator, and I'm fine with that. They do need to be accurate, though, and I will be checking a few of your sources to make sure that the links are working if you've included links, and I'll be tracking down information on just maybe one or two of your citations. So you need to make sure that you have accurate information. So here in the MLA list works cited page, we have basic format, and that's really generic. It's not going to help you out all that much. If you've got a book, you'd want to click there. If you've got periodicals and electronic sources, I think this is usually, you're going to be choosing one of these two. So periodicals, let's say we want to cite that Nancy Summers. I've already got the citation in there, but how did I get it? Well, I'll go here to MLA Works Cited page, periodicals. And we keep scrolling down, and we've got this like author, title. So we have like a basic format, a generic citation format, author, title of container. That really kind of means like what is the article's name? What's the number? Like what edition, what volume and edition was it included in? Publisher information. But these are all kind of pretty generic. If you keep scrolling down, you might find something that's a little bit closer. So Nancy Summers' article was not really in a magazine. It wasn't published in a newspaper. It wasn't a review. It wasn't an editorial or a letter to the editor. It wasn't an anonymous article. It was probably an article in a scholarly journal. So this is the format that they use. The author, last name first, comma, first name, period, title of the article, title of the journal, volume, issue, year, pages. And I use the examples kind of as a guide. So when I wrote the one for Nancy Summers in that works cited list that I had made really quickly, I use this one here. Last name, first name, period, and then in quotation marks the name of the article, and then italics, the publication that it included in, and then volume, and then number and all that. And then the PP, and yes, I said PP, haha, is right there. Those are the pages, the page range. that that article appeared in. So here it is in my article, or here it is in my in this document that I made. Summers, comma Nancy, revision strategies of student writers and experienced adult writers. We got that in quotation marks. College Composition and Communication, that was the publication that it appeared in. I did a little bit of research, and it's found in volume 31, number 4, way back in 1980, and pages 378 to 88. That's how you set up a Works Cited list. That's the information that should be included. One tricky part, and I'll talk about this really quickly, is how do you get this indented second line? You can kind of drive yourself nuts trying to use the tab feature, and what it'll do is it'll keep bringing this over here. I highly recommend that you get a bit more familiar with Word and that you use something like Word, or has an application that has all the functionality of Word to do what I'm about to show you. So if you go into the View tab and you click Ruler, right now I have the ruler off, I have the ruler on. These little hourglass things, we're going to mess with that here for just a second. So on the second line of your citation, when you don't do this, it looks like that. So that's the way it'll probably look, and then you'll try to tab it and it won't work. But we can get Word to do the work for us. If you grab the little arrow that points up, and just that little arrow, and it'll say hanging indent, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create a hanging indent. You drag that over to the ½ mark. There you go. You have a hanging indent, and now everything that comes after that is going to look exactly like that. So you'll have another citation, and it's going to look exactly like that. So that's how you create a Works Cited list. And remember, like Stedman taught us, you want the things to match. So if in the body of your text you have S for Summers, you better have S for Summers here on the end. If you could not find the name of the person that wrote it and you just had to use the title of the article, like if Nancy Summers, her name was in there, revision strategies should be what's used here in the body of the text, and it better show up here in the Works Cited. You just need to be consistent. But since we have the name in the body of the text, we have the name here in the list of Works Cited. Those are some basics for putting together a list of Works Cited, and there's a lot of complications and things like that. Remember this. Keep it simple as you can, include as much information as you can, and stay as consistent as possible. So if you're using the last name of an author, that last name should show up on the left-hand margin in the Works Cited list. All right, that's it for now. I'll talk to y'all soon.